Today I'll go through how much I spent on admission fees during my 2 trips to Japan in 2025. After that, I'll show you how much I spent per day in total to give you an idea of how much money you might need for your Japan trip. This is the final video in my series about how expensive things are in Japan as a tourist. The other videos focus on food and transport. They're in a playlist on my channel. I make new Japan videos every week on Thursdays. Next week is Japan travel news about all the new things that are opening in Japan and what's coming up over the next few months. So admission fees and entertainment made up 19% of what I spent when I was in Japan. That doesn't include flights and hotels. A lot of what you do when you're in Japan is just walking around, exploring, and that doesn't cost anything. Also, a lot of temples and shrines are free to visit. If they do have paid for areas, they're usually only a few hundred yen, even the famous ones. I also haven't included spending money for shopping because that's different for everyone. Obviously, how much you spend depends on your itinerary and what you want to do, but hopefully this will give you a rough idea. So here's how much I spent each day. There were also a few days where I didn't spend anything on admission fees. For example, when I went to Shirakawa Go. I had to pay for the bus there, but once we were there, it was just looking around. You didn't have to pay to be there. I bought some snacks, and you could pay to go inside some of the houses, but I didn't do that in the end. Or some days in Tokyo, I'd just be walking around a park, looking around a market, or this day I went for a walk over the Rainbow Bridge with no entrance fees. The most expensive day by far is Tokyo Disney. No surprises there. Theme parks are expensive. It's 9,900 yen each for a day ticket to one park. And this next most expensive day was karaoke, 6,000 yen each. We went to a karaoke place right by Shibuya Crossing, which wasn't very smart because it cost more than usual. We also got the Nomihodai package for 2 hours. That's unlimited drinks, so it cost more than we'd usually pay. The next 2 were also karaoke. Those times we did 1 hour instead of 2, and we just got 1 drink each. Karaoke isn't the cheapest thing, but it's so much fun. I've got a video about how to do it if you want to give it a try, which you definitely should. This tiny 600 yen was admission to a Japanese garden, Rikugien, on a really hot day. It was so pretty and relaxing. There was even a tea house where you could have matcha and traditional Japanese sweets. This one at the start, 8,580 yen, was my yukata rental. I rented a traditional yukata to go to a matsuri, a Japanese festival. It was a great experience, no regrets. I've got a video all about it. During this trip, I went to a few observation decks because I'm making a video about them. The Skytree and Tokyo Tower were both 3,500 yen per person. At both of them, I went to the standard deck and the upper deck, so it would be a bit cheaper if you just go to the standard deck. I also went to Hachitama, I love that name. That's an observation deck in Odaiba. It's much cheaper at 800 yen per person, and I actually really enjoyed it. I can't wait to show you that video. The planetarium in Ikebukuro was 1,600 yen each, and they did give us devices so we could hear an English translation. The ropeway in Atami is 900 yen per person for a return trip to go up and get a view of the town and the sea and to go where the castle is. There are so many ropeways around Japan. In Hida Furukawa in Gifu, very close to Takayama, I spent 1,800 yen to make a braided bracelet. That was such a fun experience and a lovely personal souvenir. It's just like the braids they make in the film Your Name, and we visited some of the locations from the anime around the town. That's another video I can't wait to show you. Hida Furukawa also had some lovely little experiences that cost 100 yen, like buying fish food from an honesty box to feed the koi carp in the streets, or having a go on this giant drum. We really liked the 100 yen price tag for these little experiences. Looking back, it doesn't seem like there's that much in this category. I have been to Japan many times, so I wasn't trying to do all the big attractions in one go, so you might spend a bit more. For example, if you go and see the Team Lab attractions, they cost between 3,600 yen and 5,600 yen, depending when you go. On to the total spend. When I look at how much I spent per day in total, there isn't really a difference between Tokyo and Gifu. So I think it depends more what you do rather than where you are. This spike is the bus to Shirakawa-go, which was 5,600 yen each, and the other days are reasonably similar. The average spend was 8,580 yen per person per day for everything I spent while I was there. That doesn't include the regional rail pass or flights and hotels. Flights and hotels really are the biggest part of the expenses for your Japan trip. Flights are so expensive these days. Here's the breakdown of how much it was for each category. Food and drinks are the biggest expense, totally worth it. That was mostly restaurant meals. This section was drinks from the vending machine and evening drinks and snacks we grabbed from the convenience store. Again, everyone's different, so let me know your experiences in the comments, and if you have any questions, just ask and I'll do my best to help you out. And I'll see you next week with Japan travel news. Bye bye.